What is up, everybody, and welcome to Studio Day Heifer Day Quarantine. I'd like to apologize for all this hair. It's about time. Holy cow, it's about time to get rid of all this. What I want to talk about today is the top 10 cornerbacks in the 2021 draft class. I tweeted out an order last night at JC1053, and if you saw that order, you actually don't have my correct order because things change even overnight. It's a really cool cornerback class, though. The Cowboys need help at corner, and it's a good year to need help at corner. Faux show. So what I want to do is I want to talk to you guys about the guys that have first-round grades on, second-round grades on, third-round grades on. So it'll actually be more than a top 10. It'll be like a top 13 or 14. My cornerback rankings, because here's the thing. Here's how it changes overnight. When I first watch guys, what I do is I watch a guy, and I'm like, yep, first-round player, throw him in the first round. Oh, yeah, that's a second-round player, throw him in the second round. And as you're going through, you're kind of trying to slot guys as you go, and it's like you're watching your 11th corner, and you go, yep, second-round player. Oh, is he better than that guy? Is he better than that guy? And you just kind of put him wherever. And then I go back, and I reread my notes on every player. And sometimes when you reread your notes, because they're your own words, you'll realize, oh, I got that guy a little low based on what I actually think of him. Okay, jump him, drop him, bam, 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 right? And I'm going to put you guys on notice, on warning. I got 2 months to go. I don't know if I'll have the stones to do it. But starting with Caleb Farley. Caleb Farley, my notes are not as good as the notes on Patrick Surtain or Jaycee Horn, or maybe Kelvin Joseph at Kentucky, if we're being honest. So with Caleb Farley, who's still, for the moment, my top corner, you have to know that a lot of this is based on projection. It is a dude that you're banking on his super upside that comes from his athleticism, projecting that he can become a guy that can become a good press man corner, because he doesn't do that on tape much at all. There's not a lot of press that he's actually run. I don't think he's a great man coverage player, probably better from off coverage, better zone than man. So for Caleb Farley, it's a lot of betting on upside. But he does sit at number 1 for the moment. Patrick Surtain at Alabama sits at number 2 for the moment, and my notes on him are pretty much all positive, except for how fast and how twitchy is he. But you talk about reactive instincts, natural feel for the cornerback position, knowing how to use the sideline, being physical, blah, 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 blah. Tons of good about Patrick Surtain. Jaycee Horn. Same thing, South Carolina corner. He's my number 3 corner at the moment. My notes, overwhelmingly positive. The one negative, he grabs a lot. He's very reliant on being physical. But he's athletic enough to not need that, and you should be able to coach that out of him. There is the potential that Caleb Farley will end up being my 3rd corner. I'm just putting it out there right now. But for the moment, it's Caleb Farley at number 1. It's Patrick Surtain at 2. It's Jaycee Horn at 3. And those are my first-round corners. I have a cheater grade on Kelvin Joseph, Kentucky corner at number 4. My notes on him are really, really, really good. Man, cover 3, fit for the Cowboys. Great feel for how to play a deep third, bait a throw, get to the sideline, pick a ball off. He can run. His good quickness, good size. Plays a little light, but good size. So I like him a lot. Problem is, when you start talking about the off-field stuff, when he opted out of the final game last year at Kentucky, the coaching staff was basically like, yeah, please do. So he was at LSU, transferred out of there, and then at Kentucky, the coaching staff had no problem with him opting out of the last game because they had no problem with it. So those are my guys that are in the first-round range based on tape. That's tape grades, all right? Then we go to my second-round guys. Asante Samuel Jr., the Florida State corner. Will he play outside? Will he play the nickel? You know, he's a sub-6-foot guy, and in the Clemson game, you can see it on the first 2 plays. They just throw it up on him, and they go get the football. There's not a ton of that happening in the NFL where you're like, oh, that corner's kind of short. Let's just throw bombs. But that is the one big negative you're going to find. But as far as instincts, awareness, football smarts, physical ability, Asante Samuel Jr. has everything you want. And worst case scenario, I think he's a really good nickel corner that can play the slot for you. My next second-round corner is Elijah Molden, University of Washington. They play a lot of zone at Washington, but I think you see football IQ, you see ball skills. I don't know how athletic he is in terms of I don't think he would test as a premier NFL athlete, but I think that his football IQ, his willingness to tackle, the ball skills, Elijah Molden to me is a really, really good player. My next second-round corner, and this is 3 straight slot guys really, is, don't forget his first name now, Jeff, Aaron Robinson, my guy at University of Central Florida. I love the way this dude plays. He is an absolute dog. On tape, I thought he was bigger and longer than he measured at the Senior Bowl, which means I'm not worried about his, quote, short arms because he doesn't play that way. He plays like a bulldog. Like he is just like he's athletically gifted. He can absolutely run. He can chase routes. He has great makeup speed. I don't know if he's super twitched up in terms of change of direction, but he can make up. He's physical at the line of scrimmage. He wants to hit. He's tough. I like him a lot. Next second-round corner. This is cornerback number 8, Paulson Adebo, Stanford. You're welcome, Bobby Belt. I finally watched your guy. I like him more than, pretty much every other analyst I can find. But I think that he can run. He's well over 6 foot. I think his change of direction is good. He's just what we call high-bootied, high-cut, long-limbed. So he's got the long legs. So I will see receivers on Adebo when they make an enter and out break. He'll have an occasional false step and just he is a long-limbed dude. And he's not a great tackler, but I don't think he's a bad tackler, and he's willing. But he's a cover 3 and a man corner. I think that my perception is a lot of people think he's not that athletic, and when I watch him, I disagree. I think that he's a really good player. I have him in the second round. Ifeatu Melifonwu, Syracuse, is cornerback number 9, another second-round player. And again, this one is kind of a size, speed, athleticism. He's like 6'2", 212, long arms, and that is a really good starting point. And he's a good player too. You can watch him. You can watch that speed at work when he closes off routes to the inside. You run a slant, you run a dig, and he's able to break down on that and make a play on the football. Melifonwu is, especially physically, would fit what the Cowboys are probably looking for, a combination of playing man and playing a deep third of the field and making it hard for a quarterback to go over top of you. Melifonwu is a good name. Another one, Greg Newsome, Northwestern, another second-round corner for me. So that's 10 corners in the first 2 rounds. Greg Newsome, he's just so smooth. Now, at Northwestern, they play a lot of deep thirds where he is playing a very conservative backup. So you're not going to see a lot of big plays on Newsome because they're playing to prevent it. But you can see the smarts. You can see his ability to play a football in the air. You can see his ability to track a football. Probably not a, quote, premier athlete at the cornerback spot, but good enough for the way that he plays, where he's got size, he's got ability to track and play the ball, he's a willing tackler. So that's another one that I have as a second-round guy. That's my top 10 corners. My top 10 corners are all in the first 2 rounds. That's how much I like them. And then I'll give you a couple of other names here that I've got that are my next guys up. So cornerback number 11, and this goes into third-round grades, Shakur, Shakur, Brown at Michigan State. Another dude that I just love the way he plays. I love it. I might end up having him as a second-round guy. I might have 11 guys in the first 2 rounds. He's physical, and he has the athletic ability to stay with receivers. So he's not just a guy that likes to fight you. He can also absolutely cover. So Shakur Brown as my 11th corner. My 12th corner is Eric Stokes at Georgia. He can absolutely fly, and his production was incredible. Tyson Campbell is the corner. So, again, this is going back through your notes and making sure that your notes match up with where you have players. Stokes was a better player than his teammate Tyson Campbell every year they were at Georgia. Last year, Tyson Campbell gave up more yards in the Alabama game alone than Stokes gave up the entire year. So guys didn't throw at him a lot. And I don't think that he's a premier man coverage guy, but his straight line speed and the production that he had against really good competition, for me, puts him as a third-round guy at worst. My, what is that, 10, 11, 12, 13th corner, Thomas Graham Jr. It's Oregon, right? I watched a lot of guys recently at Oregon, but that's a guy that I like. And then Tyson Campbell is my cornerback 14 at the moment, with the caveat that I have not watched Benjamin St. Juste at Minnesota yet. I have not watched Keith Taylor at Washington, and I have not watched Robert Rochelle, who I believe is Central Arkansas, and Goen at Central Florida. So there's still a few guys that could be in this mix that I haven't watched yet. But that is my top 10 cornerbacks in this draft class and some bonus ones. Let me know in the comments where I screwed it up. Let me know who you like. Let me know who you'd like to hear about or have me watch. Make sure you're mashing the like button and you're subscribed. YouTube.com/Jeff Kavanaugh. Check 1053thefan.com every day, and I will see you, ladies and gentlemen, on the radio, home of the Cowboys, 2 to 7. It's G-Bag Nation on 1053 The Fan. I love you. See you later.